Hello, welcome to the start of my Winterween vlog. This is a readathon hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. There are 5 prompts and 7 days. I am really excited to read horror and thriller books and celebrate the spooky season. It is day 1. I need to leave to take my husband to the airport, so I'm gonna do that. I'm going to get some Dunkin', and then once I get home I'm going to do a little bit of editing, and then we're gonna start the first book. Hi, I'm picking up a mobile order for Lexi. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I am home. I have the lava cake cold brew. They don't specifically have a lava cake cold brew, but I just added it to the cold brew. I really wanted to try the Sabrina brown sugar shaken espresso thing, but I don't like espresso. Cold brew is the only kind of coffee that I really like, and I wish it was not like that because iced coffee is cheaper than cold brew generally, but there's just something about it that's too bitter and I don't like it, so cold brew is my go-to. My cold foam has left me between the drive home, which really is only a minute or two, but Bowser needed attention, so I'm gonna try the lava cake. It's good. It just adds a chocolatey taste to it. I really like that actually. So I need to do some editing, get caught up on some things before I get into reading. I need to drink this Dunkin' because I'm tired. I just I opened this book and it's musty. It smells like old book, which is fine, but for some reason I wasn't expecting it and it just wafted into my face. So I have started Rosemary's Baby for the oldest book, well, not the oldest book, but a horror book published 5 or more years earlier. This was published in what, the 70s? Look at this. Tell me the last time. Hello, can you focus? Do you see the price on that? Do you see that says, what, 95 cents? I wish. I didn't even pay 95 cents for this. I bought it on Pango. I have not seen this movie. I don't know anything about this story, actually, other than it's a classic, and Rosemary has a baby. I have read and really enjoyed Nestlings by Nat Cassidy, which I know is, there goes my books, inspired by Rosemary's Baby, so I'm excited to give this one a go. I have made it a little bit into it. I have the audiobook on Libro FM, so I'm not very far in, but I wanted to check in and let you know that this was what I was starting with. I'm scared because it's an older book and I don't usually like the writing in those, and I'm only a couple pages in and there's been some issues where I'm like, okay, but it's not bad. So I'm 14 pages in and Rosemary and Guy are going to check out this apartment. So they've been looking for apartments. They are just about to sign a lease on one and they get contacted saying that they have something available for them to check out. So they have been on the waiting list since their marriage and had finally given up on the Bramford, which is a really popular apartment complex building. Not really complex. And they had just signed a lease the previous day on another one because they had given up on their hopes of being in this place. And they get a call and they decide to go look and they love it. And that's all the further I am into this. But I don't hate it, so why do I keep doing that? But I'm excited to experience this story for the first time. I don't know how I haven't been spoiled for it. I'm sure I have a little bit with retellings and stuff, but this is my plan for the day. I am going to be reading this. I have the audiobook, and I also think that I might start on a physical read that I have. I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I've been putting this off for too long, and it's time. It's bedtime. I am so tired, but I wanted to give you my progress for today. It's 11:15. I didn't read as much as I wanted to. I had some other stuff that I needed to do and also procrastinated as one does. So I am now about halfway into Rosemary's Baby. I just got to part 2. This is okay. We are following our main character, Rosemary. Winston is scratching his claws over there. So they move into this apartment that I told you that they were looking at in the beginning, and then they're pretty much just existing. Rosemary meets this woman who is living with this old couple. She has had issues with drugs in the past, and these people are like rehabilitating her. And then something happens with her, and then she becomes closer to these older people. And then there's also starting to become issues with her and her husband, Guy. I'm sorry, but don't name your child Guy. Don't do that. Anyway, her goal in life is to be a mom. They want 3 kids. And then her husband is an actor, so he's very focused on that, very self-centered. And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna like be better for you because I've been so focused on my job and you want to do this thing and you haven't been able to, so we're gonna get pregnant. And then there's a scene where questionable consent, and by questionable I mean literally no consent happened, and just because you're married does not mean that it's consent every single time, especially if you can't say that. So didn't love that, but she recognizes that it was not good, and she goes away and like needs to process this, think about everything. She does come to the conclusion that it was okay because she gets pregnant. I mean, this is called Rosemary's Baby, so everything leading up to that, it has been fine. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, and that's a plus for a book that is older. Usually, if a book at this point is older, I'm out. So things are going well because this was the scariest prompt for me, so I wanted to get it out of the way. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go to bed. I am so tired, like my body is physically exhausted, and I have to film some stuff tomorrow. Oh, also, I have been working on my reading journal, and I finished my Winterween spread. So this is what it looks like. I have, obviously, Winterween at the top. I got the Winterween stickers, and I have 3 of them in here. So there is this one is a Winterween sticker, and then this one. And then everything else I just drew in and wrote in. So I have the Instagram prompts over here, which are to post your TBR, post book spines with orange and black, post a reel of your reading routine, post your current read, post all the books that you own with houses on the cover, post your book in a winter setting, and post your final read. And then I have the reading prompts over here with space to write in the book that I read underneath. I have decided that for the horror/thriller that I'm going to read, I am going to be going with The Chamber by Will Dean because my friend Andy and I are going to buddy read it. So I will be starting this tomorrow, I believe. And then I also want to start one of my physical reads as well. I don't want to get to the last couple days of the readathon and then have to cram in some physical reads, so I will be reading Man Fuck This House, The Cats Are Fighting as well. So these will be my 3 reads. I am hoping to finish Rosemary's Baby tomorrow, but this actually has different sections and days, so maybe I will break it up and read it based on that. I need to look into that. But on that note, I'm going to sleep. I'm exhausted. See you tomorrow for day 2. Good morning. It is day 2 of Winterween. I am here with Bowser and not the ghost. Nova. Get in. Yep, there you go. And this morning I have finished Rosemary's Baby. Honestly, this is such an accomplishment for me because usually I will get 10 pages into a book that was written this long ago and I'm like, I'm out, I'm done, and I do know it. This one I did finish. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I thought it was generally okay. I have obviously read so many things that are inspired by this, and I can appreciate what it has done for the genre, and the twist was fine. But once again, I've read so many things that are inspired by this, based on this, twists on this, even if they're not like the pregnancy trope. So it was just like, it was okay. I also don't really love reading books about women who are pregnant and like new mothers and things like that. So I am glad that I read this. I have had it on my shelves for longer than I would like to. It hasn't been that long, but it's one of the oldest books on my TBR. I'm gonna keep it. It's a fun little like really old copy of it, but not a favorite for me, but one of my favorite classic horrors, I guess, because I didn't DNF it. So the plan for the day, I need to eat soon. I don't know what I'm gonna eat because I feel like I have nothing in the house. I've been gone a lot, so the fridge doesn't have that much stuff in it. But I also need to go to the library because I have a book due today. Oh, yeah, somebody over here knows that word. And now he's wagging his tail because he's like, oh, we're leaving? Well, I wasn't expecting that, pup. But I am going to be starting both of these today. This one is separated into days, but I don't know if I'm going to read it in those chunks because the last day, or one of the days, is like extremely long compared to the other ones. It was almost like half the book. Yeah, so this is like 3 days in this chunk here. This is 1 day, and then this is the final day. So we'll see. I do want to start this today though, so that I can maybe read this over today and tomorrow, and then another physical book for 2 days after that. My audiobook I'll be starting is The Chamber. Really excited to be doing a buddy read of this. I'm also considering going to Taco Bell because they now have their nuggets, and it was requested by one single person, but it was requested that I do like a taste test of their sauces with that. So that sounds kind of fun. I would like to finish, oh gosh, what would I like to do? I would like to finish something today. I thought I would finish this whole thing yesterday because it's so little. Not sure. As usual, I have some filming and editing I need to do. The beginning of the year is always so chaotic with end of year content, beginning of year content, book to your favorites, things like that. So it's keeping me busy. Good morning. It is day 3 of Summerween. Nope, it's the winter time. Winterween. I was going to try to hold my camera, but it's heavy, so not doing that. Okay, so I didn't really update you yesterday because I didn't read that much. I filmed a video for an hour. I was editing. Yesterday was a slower day for me. I was just so tired. And I ended up taking a nap, and then I procrastinated going to the library, and then I went, and it was snowing, so people were driving really slow, and then I got there and they had closed. I forgot that they count Fridays as weekends, so they close at 5 instead of 8, so that's annoying. But now I have to go back today, and I have read more of The Chamber as my thriller of the horror thriller options. I'm 130 pages in, and I am liking this, but I wish that whenever the book was being set up, the setup was on the characters and not the intricacies of this diving, deep sea diving, stuff like that. I understand why certain parts were explained, but whenever things like that are mentioned, I'm not feeling the tension like I feel like you're supposed to, because I don't really care about the characters themselves. I don't know if I told you the synopsis, but we are following 6 deep sea divers locked inside a hyperbaric chamber, and they are going back up because they have 4 days of decompression before they can safely open their chamber, and then one of them is found dead during that time, so they're like panicking because somebody died. And then the next day another diver is discovered unresponsive, and then everybody is like, 1 is just a thing that happened, 2 is not a coincidence at this point. So everybody's really on edge and kind of freaking out because somebody is out to get them. Like, is it one of the crew members? Is it somebody that oversees things? Is it one of the cooks? My issue is that we are supposed to care when these people die, and I don't. I didn't have this issue with this previous book. I enjoyed the characters more. Well, not that I enjoyed all of them, but I feel like I knew them. In this one, I don't know who anybody is. Like, I don't feel like anybody has an exciting personality, an exciting backstory, anything that I really care about. So whenever they're off, I'm like, okay, and? So the tension is gone, even though this is supposed to be a super tense book. I have already walked on my walking pad this morning. I have made it a goal of mine for 2025 to use it for 10 minutes a day. So I did that this morning. Last night I didn't do it till 1 in the morning. So I need to not be doing that. I'm gonna go eat lunch. Also, I didn't get Taco Bell yesterday. I didn't leave the house. I took a nap and I ate something from my freezer. Oh, I also did start Man Fuck This House, and I am 12 pages in, and the writing feels odd to me right now. I don't feel like it's that incredible, and the only reason I care is because it's making the reading experience feel like stilted. There's just something about it that is not completely working for me. So that's the update on everything. I thought I'd be reading more, but it is what it is. You too. Sorry if you can hear my heater, but it is very cold. I have been reading The Chamber, and I'm 218 pages in, and I'm really bored, and I'm really sad about it because I feel like this should be a really tense book. The situation that they're in is isolated. They are trapped. People are dying, and I just don't care about anything. So I think my issue continues to be the characters. I feel like they were never set up in an interesting way. I have not cared about them at all. And it's to the point where, like, they're talking about these things that should be sad relating to their family and their relationships and things that have happened in their past. And I don't care at all. I'm just really, really bummed about it because this should be working really well for me. And I really enjoyed his last book. But this one is boring. And at this point, no matter what happens, it's not going to get above a 3-star. But I'm just also confused because they will introduce these creepy elements and then it just disappears. And I don't understand. There's been some like hints of not conspiracy theory things, but kind of similar in that vein. And then it all just disappears. I'm bored. I'm really, really bored of this. And I am upset about it. But I am going to finish it in the morning. I am getting ready to go to bed. It is like 12:30. So I'm going to switch to read a book in the dark. I'm going to read Magnum Opus. I have it on my Kindle, so I'm going to read it in the dark. But this is about someone who will do whatever it takes to make sure their newest book is a bestseller, even if it means murdering her best friend. So this is a very short one. I figured this would be a good one to pick to read in the dark, so I'm not committed to something very long. I might fall asleep while reading it. If not, I'll check in maybe when I'm halfway. Hello, it is day 4 and I can chat about Magnum Opus to you, which I did start last night on my Kindle. It is my book that I'm reading in the dark and I'm having a really, really good time with this one so far. I think that Caitlin Marceau is so good at putting a lot of stuff in such a small amount of pages because This Is Where We Talk Things Out is one of my favorite books, honestly. I think about it frequently. It gave me so much stress. And I think it was done so well. It had so many great discussions and was entertaining and it was tense. So good. So I'm really happy that I'm enjoying this. So I made it 20 pages in before I passed out for the night. And in this, we are following Charlotte. And she is celebrating with her friend Kim. And they're both authors, but Kim is significantly more successful than Charlotte. And Charlotte is extremely jealous of this, even though she doesn't completely want to admit it. And They're celebrating Charlotte's new book release, and Kim is like, guess what? My book has been pushed up, so we share a publication date. And this makes Charlotte so angry because she's like, can't I just have something to myself for once? Now I'm going to be overshadowed by your book doing significantly better than mine. They are at Charlotte's apartment celebrating, and they get so drunk that Kim is going to sleep on the couch, and as Charlotte is walking away after putting her on the couch to go to sleep, she hears her vomit and start to choke on it and decides to just walk away. And she wakes up in the morning and her friend is dead on her couch. The back says that she murders her best friend, so that is not any sort of spoiler. But then she is living with the fact that she probably shouldn't have done this. She regrets her decisions, and she is starting to think that there is more than meets the eye with her feeling guilty. It might not just be in her head what is going on with that. There's been some like book related, like her book related drama going on as well. And it's just like so messy and so entertaining. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm hoping to finish it tonight. But I wanted to give you my update on it for now. This is also on Kindle Unlimited if you are interested in reading it. So, good job. So far, I would really recommend it. So, my plan for the day is to keep reading Man Fuck This House. I don't know if I told you, I cannot remember, but I'm 12 pages in. So I don't really have anything to say right now other than the fact that the writing feels strange to me. It's really difficult to get into because I don't know, there's just something about the way that it's written that I am not loving, but I think the plot is interesting enough so far, really not very far in. But I plan on sitting and reading this until I fall asleep on the couch because Adam and I got hot pot. I am stuffed. I'm so full. I need to get my money's worth, you know? It's all you can eat. So I eat all I can. And now I just need to not exist in real life, you know? I just want to be sleeping because I'm so full and it made me really tired. Maybe I'll get super sucked in and won't fall asleep, but I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, food was so good. What are you doing? Bowser. He is just sitting on me while I'm on Patreon sprints. I've made it about halfway into Man Fuck This House, which is 97 pages in. This is separated into different days, so I've read Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I am now at Thursday, and Thursday and Friday are the last 2 days in here. I do think that there's some issues with the writing with this, but other than that, I'm really enjoying it. Also, there was this one thing where the main character is talking about unpacking. She's like, I have to Mary Canto this, and I was like, Marie Kondo? And I looked it up. Mary Canto is not a person. So that was just like a typo and was never fixed. This is indie published and it's actually getting republished with an audiobook and everything, I believe, in October. So I'm assuming things like that will be fixed. Because this was from a very small press, mutated media. Sorry I'm moving around so much. I didn't feel like setting up my whole thing, but my camera is just heavy. So I'm trying to keep my arm from falling off. So in this, we are following this family that has moved to this house. It's so entertaining because there's very interesting family dynamics. The two parents seem to get along generally well until the mom, Sabrina, starts to see things going on with this house, and she's really the only one experiencing that. And he's being like generally helpful, but at the same time is like, I don't really think this house is haunted. And then the two kids, the brother and the sister, Michaela and Damien. Damien is making me laugh so much because he is this like super smart kid that pretty much seems to be bored and decides that his thing is going to be like pretending to be creepy. So he's not actually creepy, like he's I guess he is, but he's like choosing to do these things to come off as creepy, even though he wouldn't generally be doing it, like just to creep out his mom. And it's kind of really funny to me. So we are watching Sabrina, the mom, unpacking things, seeing these experiences that are happening in the house to her. The very first instance is this guy that like carries this box down the stairs and then crawls into this really tiny crawl space that he couldn't fit in, and then she is like freaked out because there's this person in her house, but then like this guy is not in the crawl space and there's no way he could get in there. And then other things are happening where she thinks that something shouldn't be happening, but it did, and it's entertaining. I'm liking all of this. I don't think the writing is great. There's so many capitalized words for like emphasis. It feels different than like a traditionally published book, but also it's not that. So like it is what it is. It's not hindering my enjoyment of anything. So I am enjoying this halfway through, which works really well for all of my reading since I have 2 books fully done, this one, and then 2 more. And my plan for now is to go to bed soon. I'm wrapping up Patreon sprints now. I've been on for I think 5 hours at this point. And I'm going to lay in bed and I'm going to finish Magnum Opus, which will put me at my 3rd book finished, and it will be my book in the dark prompt. I'm going to read that on my Kindle in bed. Then tomorrow I plan on finishing Man Fuck This House. So that's the end of day 5. And I'll have 4 books done, and then I have the last 2 days to read standalone, and it takes me a little bit longer to read physically, so I think that'll work really well for me. I'm gonna go chat and my Patreon sprints. We have 40 seconds left. I'm gonna go to bed and read, and I'll talk to you about Magnum Opus in the morning. Hello, it is day 5 of Summerween. It is pretty late in the day. I was on more Patreon sprints for a lot of the day with Mel and Cassidy. But last night I did finish Magnum Opus. This was my book in the dark, so that is the 3rd prompt out of 5 that I've completed. What prompts have I done? Oh, horror older than 5 years with Rosemary's Baby. And then a thriller for horror or thriller with The Chamber. Read a book in the dark with Magnum Opus. My heater thing is being really loud. This is my favorite book that I've read so far. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I didn't like it quite as much as This Is Where We Talk Things Out. I think it just wasn't as exciting with the plot, but I think that the conversations that this had surrounding grief and guilt were just really interesting. I liked the physical manifestation of those things in this book. I think it was a lot of fun. I'm going to continue to read from Caitlin Marceau. I have nothing else to say besides that because it's so short. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I would recommend it if you're interested. So some updates. I've been reading this. I'm 172 pages in, so I'm almost done with it, but like it's making me laugh. It's so funny. I'm continuing to have the same issues with the writing. Like, why are 2 to 3 words capitalized on every single page? I don't know, but there's some character interactions that are truly hilarious to me. Like, this one kid is really smart and is purposely being so creepy. So he does things like the family's watching a movie together and he sits and watches them react to the movie instead of watching the movie. And he has this internal monologue that's like, I'm just bored and looking for things to do. So I decided that I'm going to present myself as the creepy little kid, even though that's not actually what I am, and I'm just trying to find something entertaining to fill my time, and I'm just really enjoying that. It's really, really weird. So I'll talk to you in a little bit once I finish this. I need to finish it super soon because I'm watching Squid Game with my Patreon. We're on season 1, episodes 5 and 6 we're watching tonight. We decided to rewatch the first season together so we could get into the second season since it came out recently. And I'm so excited for that because the cliffhangers for the last ones, I've seen the first season, and I remember like the general things. Oh, these episodes are gonna be rough. It's really fun to watch it and chat with everybody. So I need to finish up this book for my 4th book, which is really good progress, especially because this is a physical read, obviously very short, and I read a lot with audio. So when there's not an audiobook, I take a lot longer to read because my brain is very easily distracted. So getting through these is good, especially considering I'm reading some other things physically as well outside of Winterween. So I'm gonna finish this. I have like 25 pages left and I'll check in a sec. I have finished Man Fuck This House. This is a fun time. It's very silly. It's not realistic in any sort of sense, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that there were some very, very funny moments. I have seen people say that they hated this and immediately got it out of their house, but I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I very much enjoyed it. I think it was so entertaining. I think it was ridiculous. I think just like everything about it was just entertaining and a good time. So definitely glad I read this. It's one that I was very scared of. I hadn't heard the best things about it, honestly, and I wouldn't go around completely recommending it, but I seriously had such a fun time with it, so I'm gonna give it 4 stars. This is the prompt to read a book with house in the title or on the cover, and it fits both. So I am really happy that I read this. Very entertaining. I am about to watch Squid Game, so that will take a couple hours. We're gonna watch 2 episodes together, and then I think I'm gonna read something else, and then I'll talk to you in the morning, and we will start the last book, which I'm very excited about because it's a multiverse slasher, which I think are 2 of my favorite things. So like I really can't wait. Also, I really need to figure out the lighting in this space. This room is kind of almost Z-shaped, but not. And I need lighting over here. It's bad. The lighting in this room is just awful in general. I'm having a fun time. The chamber kind of was a downer, but other than that, like, I'm enjoying everything. I also think I'm going to work on my reading journal while I watch Squid Game since it's a rewatch, so I will show you that as well. Probably tomorrow when there's better light and it's not late. I can't wait to watch these episodes of Squid Game. Hello. It's midnight. We ended up watching 3 episodes instead of 2 of Squid Game, but it worked better with the timing of everything. So that means tomorrow we're watching the last 2 episodes of the season, even though we weren't going to watch it right away, so then we can start season 2 on Saturday, which I'm so excited about because I have not seen that yet. But I've had a lot of fun because a lot of the people that are watching haven't seen it before, so seeing them with their theories and seeing things happen on rewatch that are little clues, I'm really enjoying. I need to really clean this room tomorrow, so maybe that'll be my project. But I'm going to bed. I'm excited to start Standalone tomorrow. Good morning. It is day 7 of Winterween. If you are well versed in the art of counting, you might know that I skipped day 6. Yesterday, we found out that Adam has bronchitis. We were all really, really sick in December, and it has led to Adam having bronchitis now. So he went into work and they're like, you gotta go to the doctor. So he went and they were like, yeah, you have bronchitis. So he was home. I was hanging out with him some. We've been watching Lego Masters Australia. We watched season 4, the last one on Tubi. So we watched the finale yesterday. We ended up watching the last 2 episodes of Squid Game with Patreon as well of season 1. So I'm excited because on Saturday we're going to start season 2 together. It's fun to be able to chat about it live. I've also been working so much on my reading journal. I haven't showed it anywhere. I'm just, while I talk to you, kind of flip through things. I decided to do like a dark forest kind of theme, aka I got some tree stickers and some mushrooms. This is my start of the year TBR. I've read some of these like in this video, but I don't know what color I want to color things yet, so I haven't done that. Just some different things, 25 and 25, 5-star predictions. Both of those have videos. Patreon read-alongs that are happening. This is the Horror Bingo TBR, which I also have a video for. Buzzword reading challenges, also have videos for. This was not supposed to be a promotion. I haven't done this, but I'm going to have DNFs and unhauls on these. This is going to be my book haul page, so I've hauled 3, and I think my plan is for each month to have a color. So January are all these blue ones because the January month is that color. This is going to be a series tracker, and then my 2025 reads. I have all the pictures in, and I read around 200 books-ish. So I have lots of pages of that. I still need to put washi tape on all of that. And then this year I'm doing monthly new release videos. So I'm going to have a page for each of those to keep up with it, see what I've actually read and things like that. And then I have January. So the way that I'm setting this up is that I'm not doing monthly spreads each month. I'm going to have 2 pages for each month. So right now I just have some Winterween stickers. I have a drawn in pencil chart for my star ratings. I'm going to track my books read, pages I read with my eyeballs, hours I listened to audiobooks. I'm going to have videos up here that I posted. These are the books that I've read and the star rating. So then I'm going to have all of the months of the year, you know. And then I'm going to do spreads for each video that I do. So I have my Winterween spread. That's a good segue because I have read everything except for the novella, manga, or audiobook. And my plan for that was to read standalone. And here's the thing, I have too much to do today for me to read this. Yes, it is a novella. I just put this bookmark in here to mark half. But I need an audiobook because I'm going to be doing a lot of driving. I have to go to the library. I need to pick up some stuff. Like I have holds ready, and I'm also going to get the book that I'm reading for the last prompt today because my library has it in stock. I decided to go with a shorter book, and I wanted one that was like going to help my goals in some way. So I didn't find anything from my shelves that was really short that had an audio that was available right now. But I do have a book on NetGalley that I got an ARC of, an e-ARC, and I just didn't read it in time. So I'm going to read that now that the audiobook is out. So it's She Left by Stacey Gray or something like that. So I'm going to be reading that to end this video, and I'm going to be picking it up. I have to pick up groceries. I have to pick up bread from Panera to go with my groceries. I get bread from Panera, like their bakery, instead because it's pretty much the same price unless you're buying like the super cheap like store brand bread, which I'm all for store brand except for bread like sandwich bread and stuff. And then I also need to pick up Adam's other medication, so lots of things. So I need an audiobook. I also need to do a lot of cleaning today. I did a little bit of that up here earlier, but I just need to do some more because it's bad. We need a vacuum. Adam's allergic to animals, so especially with bronchitis, like vacuuming needs to be done. My battery's about to die, which is fine because I also need to shut up and go do these things. So plans have changed, but that's okay. I will still get everything done and finish Winterween today. Good morning. Yesterday was derailed. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I did everything that I told you I was going to do, and I was gone for so long. So I went to Dunkin' first, but I wanted to try the brown sugar syrup, so I got that in a cold brew, and honestly it was so good. I hope they keep it for a while because I really liked it. I don't get coffee that often, but I would like to get that whenever it's available. Also, I have not been up very long, so ignore the fact that I look sleepy. I am. Then I went to Walgreens for Adam's antibiotics for bronchitis, and I was there for so long. There was this really funny lady that was like, I picked this location because they had a drive-thru but they're closed, so sorry I look like Smokey the Bear. I was wearing this whole like Sherpa like 2-piece set and I died. I was like, you did not just say that to me. So funny. So I was there for probably 25 minutes, which doesn't seem that long, but I was only third in line. Then I went to the library and I picked up some books. Oh, where did they go? I had 4 holds available, and then I went into the store. Okay. Actually, I think I only had 3. So I got to The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, My Darling Dreadful Thing, and Where Sleeping Girls Lie. This one is for Buzz Wordathon. This is for a Goodreads video, for a different Goodreads video. And then I decided I was going to go in because I was looking for She Left. So I did grab that. And then I also got Hum by Helen Phillips. I enjoy sci-fi, so I'm trying to read a little bit more of it and figure out really what I like. So they had 2 copies of this, so I just picked one up. Then I joined sprints. Cassidy was hosting Patreon sprints, so I joined, and we ended up doing lots and lots of readathon planning, which was very fun. We were working on the prompts for that. It was like 5 hours we were on sprints. But that was a lot of fun and kind of inspired me to work on Escape the Readathon a little bit. So I did a little bit of that. I started the bookmarks for it. Adam and I also watched 2 episodes of Ghost Files Alone, which is BuzzFeed Unsolved was what it started off as, but it's Watcher, and they have Ghost Files where Ryan and Shane do their standard ghost hunting stuff, but they do a spin-off that they just started where Ryan spends 24 hours alone in a haunted place, and it's split into 3 episodes. The first one, in this case it's the first time they've done it, is getting to know the place, getting to know the history of everything, doing a walkthrough, and then the second one is the daytime portion because he's there from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then the third one will be the evening. So in the morning for lunch, we watched the first episode, and then for dinner, we watched the second episode, which was right before and after sprints. So truly, truly derailed. I was expecting to read a lot, get a lot of editing done. I did get some editing done, but not much. I also got an external hard drive, which I was fighting with, so that was very frustrating. With all of that, I did get halfway into She Left. I am to chapter 15, which is 165 pages, and I'm enjoying this, but it's not a favorite for me. So I started off being really invested. So we are following a character who, when she was a teenager, was the sole survivor of this bomb at a party. So she happened to leave just a little bit before this pressure cooker bomb went off and killed all of her friends, and people think it's suspicious that she was the only one out of this whole friend group that survived, and she is now an FBI agent, and she goes by her middle name to try to keep her life more low-key, and she gets invited by this journalist to go to this event and tell her side of the story. So she doesn't really want to do it, but she also doesn't want to be put in a position where she doesn't show up and they say whatever they want about her. So she goes, and the host is missing, and then it's a bunch of people who are connected to this crime in different ways. They are all connected through different people. And I really love the plot of somebody that is unhinged inviting people to this location to get answers out of them. For some reason, I just find it so silly, and fun, and like I just think that it's entertaining. I don't think it's realistic really, but I really enjoy it, and I think that the setup for this one made sense. They very quickly realized that they might have been lured here under false pretenses. The journalist is nowhere to be found, and a storm closes in and guests begin to die, and everybody realizes that maybe there's somebody in the house that is trying to get revenge, or they're willing to get answers at all costs because there was a somewhat definitive person that was arrested for this, but there's some suspicion around it. So I am enjoying it, but where I am right now, people have started to die, and because our main character is an FBI agent now, she's doing a little bit more investigating in like a murder mystery kind of way than I was expecting, and it doesn't feel as dramatic as it did at the beginning, so I'm not as invested. So we generally are getting Teresa's perspective. It is in third person, so it's not completely her, and she's the one that we get the main chapters from, but then there's also these little things that say like the mother or the brother or the somebody, and we're getting little glimpses into them, but it's only like a page and a half. It just feels not as exciting as I want it to be at this point, so you know, it is what it is. But I'm gonna finish this. I'm going to my sister's later today, so I might talk to you in the car. I'm actually might be able to talk to you before I leave and wrap this up. I'm not exactly sure. I need to do my walking pad walk for the day. I've kept up with it every day, which I'm very proud of. So I'm gonna do that, switch the laundry that I put in already, shower, pack. Oh, I should eat breakfast. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm gonna finish this, but my drive is an hour and 20 minutes to my sister's. So if I don't finish it before I leave or don't get through all of it, I'll be able to continue it and give you my final thoughts soon. Hello, I am at my sister's house, but on the way here I was listening to the audiobook and I finished She Left. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. I think it was a decent time. I had fun while reading it, but I was never completely invested in the characters or engaged in the plot in like a real way. I was obviously paying attention, but there was nothing that like really sucked me into the story. I really liked the initial concept, obviously. It just continued to be like one thing would happen and then they would have this whole discussion about it and then accuse each other and then they would move on. Something else would happen and it just continued to do that. So it was a decent time, not a favorite, but I would still recommend it if you're interested in it, especially if you like the and then there were none kind of trope and more investigative kind of mysteries. I really like the colors on this cover as well. It's very interesting to me. So this fills the last book for the audiobook prompt. So I have read my 5 books. Rosemary's Baby, which I gave 3 stars, for a horror book published 5 or more years ago. Magnum Opus, for a book in the dark. The Chamber, for a horror or thriller. Man Fuck This House, for a book with a house on the title or in the cover, and then She Left for an audiobook. Thank you so much to Gabby for running this readathon and her sister Rachel. I know she does a lot for this as well. I'll have Gabby's channel linked in the description as well. She has a couple vlogs for Winterween that you should check out. If you've made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me. Is there a peacock emoji? It just like reminds me of these colors or anything winter related. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you very soon. Bye.